Persie in those 2 seasons there at the start, 38 matches in both, 30 and 26. Last season, hampered by injury, but still a good return, 12 in 21. Aguero hampered the season before, but if you think about 13, 14 months ago, we were talking about Robin van Persie as being the star striker in the league. Suarez was here, Aguero was here, but Van Persie was the man. Sir Alex Ferguson had signed him, he'd been at United for 12 months, won them the championship back. City wanted him at the start of that season before, remember, and he was the big player. And it's just interesting now with United, they've obviously let Welbeck go. They've got Rooney, they dipped back into midfield yesterday. Falcao, who's injured, they've got young James Wilson coming up. But I think there's a little bit of pressure just starting to turn a little bit on Van Persie, and that's maybe from people wanting more from him. They want more from him. They want more from him in longer areas. But when you look at the actual clips of yesterday, I'm asking myself the question, is he doing anything differently than what he was doing 15 months ago? I don't think he's ever a striker that will run into the channels. We used to laud him and praise him for him being subtle, for him being clever, for him being efficient in the way in which he moves. And if you just look at it now, we've got some clips of here yesterday where it could have been a completely different game for Robin van Persie. Fantastic movement from midfield from United. I'm just going to slow this down now. He makes a Van Persie run. That is exactly what Van Persie will do. That arched run round the back of a centre-back, and Fellaini's there bearing down. And just at that point there now, Fellaini has to slip that pass into there. That's where Robin van Persie lives. That's where he wants it. And Fellaini doesn't see him. He takes it too long. He gets tackled by company. So this is a little bit in defence of Robin van Persie, these first few clips. I think when the game's short, I think Van Persie is still making clever movements. And I don't think his teammates have seen him anywhere near as much as, say, Scholes and Carrick were 2 seasons ago. It comes across now into Daily Blind. And you just watch Van Persie now. And people might say, well, you're making a point out of nothing here, Gary, but this is Robin van Persie. We had the little bit of a discussion last year about calling him a burglar, and he lives off the back. He lives off the back of centre-backs. He doesn't make big runs, and we shouldn't ask him to start making big runs now. And this is where the ball comes into Daily Blind, and I think he has got to start looking up more and playing forward. It's a little aside, but I think he plays far too many square passes, Daily Blind, and takes the easy option. He's now got to start looking. Look where Van Persie is, on that shoulder. Cliché's not out. If he gets that ball out of his feet, the type of pass that he would want there would be that one into that space. Now, people might think that's a tough ask, but we're talking about the highest calibre of player here, the highest calibre of run, and Blind takes the easy option and passes it out to his left back. This is in the second half. And I want you to remember some of these clips and the positions of them. There's Van Persie in the middle. He's just about to make his run. These are things that wouldn't be noticed unless we highlight them. He makes his run. Just hold it there now. I think he's every right to think that that ball, as Vincent Kompany steps up, should be a little dinked, curly one for his volley that you've seen him do so many times. You think of Song for Arsenal, Carrick for Manchester United scoring goals 2 years ago when they were setting him up. Again, Blind opts for the square pass into Wayne Rooney, the easy option, and Van Persie's run's gone. Because I think there have been signs in these last couple of weeks. Remember the Joe Hart save that he had to make where he was sharp in the sides, and he has been sharp when the ball's been in and around his feet. These are the 2 clips where I think Van Persie needs to do a lot better and where the pressure is coming on him. As that ball's there, he comes off flat. He should be making the run there, in behind, or certainly doing something to hold the ball up better for his team. He's got to do far better in long situations. This one now, the ball gets played in out of midfield. Di Maria breaks. There's only one place Van Persie should be running, and he doesn't make enough of those runs, I don't think, anymore. He needs to start making better runs, but his teammates certainly need to start having a better intent to find him.
What about Aguero then?
Well, on the opposite side of the fence, you've got a player who's world class, whose teammates who are equally not in the best of form, but they want to find him. Every time they get near him, they look up for him. This is Zabaleta as a right back. Hold it there now. There's Sergio Aguero. Similar position to what Van Persie is in. And he is straight away, Zabaleta, trying to play the difficult pass, knowing we've got a world-class guy. He's going to win us the match. He's the one we need to find. And there's a number of clips here that are similar. Now it gets short, similar to Van Persie, in those little spaces in between. But look at James Milner. looking for him, waiting for him, timing is with his run. And this is the big difference, I think, at the moment, when you look at the service that Aguero's getting. And don't get me wrong, Aguero is better at this moment in time than Van Persie in a number of areas. He wins the ball back here, Fernandinho. And this is where we're talking about Aguero. Fernando, though, straight away looking for him. It gives you an incredible chance if you can hit your striker quickly. United aren't doing that through midfield or from the back. They've not got the belief in Van Persie at the moment. They're not seeing his runs. They're not connecting with him. But City are connecting absolutely brilliantly. You think about the Daley Blind one a few moments ago. This is equally as difficult for Fernando. What a pass this is. Challenging, but brilliant from Aguero. Great work from David De Gea. But they're always looking for their man. And this is the goal, the winning moment of the game. You think there, these strikers don't make massive movements when they're getting around the box. They're making little subtle ones. He's mirroring the centre-backs, making it difficult for McNair. It's just a little bit of a pull-off, and there you go, he smashes it into the back of the net. And that's the difference, I think. In defence of Van Persie, and I'm not going to defend him totally because I think he needs to do a lot more, I don't think his teammates are in sync with him as they were 2 years ago. I wonder whether Michael Carrick coming back will help that. I think with Aguero, you've seen a striker who's in top form, but whose teammates know they need to find him at every opportunity. And I think United need to do a little bit more of that with Van Persie.
And the derby as a whole, Jeremy, what did you make of it? What did you make of Manchester City? It got very nervy for them in the last, 10, 15 minutes?
They did, and I think that's showing the run that they're in. There's maybe a lack of confidence, and it was such a massive win for them. I think you've seen that in Vincent Kompany's interview afterwards. But that first 20, 25 minutes, I thought Man United did well. Caused them problems. I thought there was problems for City in that midfield. That could be a problem going forward against Roma, Bayern Munich. That extra man in there. The sending off changes everything. And I think then we saw Yaya Toure getting forward, bursting past people. I think he had problems initially. But the problem is United, even for all that nice interplay, getting to the halfway line, there's something lacking. There's still nothing, as Gary said, Van Persie. I think they need to bring Di Maria back inside. I think he's played wide the last couple of games, hasn't looked the same player, and I think he's much better inside.
That's a big one, that. He's been nullified. I mean, he's been sensational those first 5 or 6 matches when he played in that inside left and 3 of midfield. He's played him out on the left and right wings in the last few weeks, and he's been nowhere near as effective. In fact, he's looked lost at times in that wing position. I think he does need to come back inside into that sort of middle position where he can run through in that area where I think, to be fair, yesterday, he could have connected, I think, a lot more with Van Persie, and he'd had big problems, Yaya Toure and Fernando marking him.
1 goal in Manchester yesterday. What will we get in London tonight? The last